At the place of transfiguration, there was a voice from heaven, "Here is my beloved Son, listen to him." If we are to listen to him on the Mount of Transfiguration, first we needed to follow him to walk through the valley of death. While here on earth, Jesus offered prayers and supplications with deep cries and tears to the one who could save him from death, and he was heard because of his reverent submission. Meaning of walking through the valley of death for Jesus is not much of avoiding some pleasures, but in humble submission, accepting and embracing those rejected, especially those rejected in the very name of God. The Son of God image had to be slaughtered before he could do this. Listening to the humble children and the poor, accept the tax collectors, embrace a leper, touch a dead, love the women of ill repute. Of course, death was so essential. Something that we need to reflect perhaps in our life is whether I am ready to die. It is not in a pessimistic sense that I say, like someone would share with us, I do not want to live anymore. I'm completely disappointed. I'm in distress. I have no hope at all. But this readiness to die, this is a kind of acceptance or a preparedness to die. We know for sure that everybody has to die. That is quite natural. But the event of death is also very much personal. For a natural death, we do not have to be prepared. We all die because of age, some sickness, or maybe by an accident. But to go through death in a personal and intimate way, we must be really prepared. To die in a graceful and in a fruitful way. The whole communication and the conversation on the Mount of Transfiguration was about the death he had to undergo. The text from the letter to the Hebrews pictures the offerings of Jesus. Sacrifice and offering you would not desire. You have prepared a body for me. Here I am. I have come to do your will, O God. Now the offering is ready, but sacrifice is to be made. What Transfiguration is preparing Jesus is for that. A living sacrifice is a total disfiguration. The nobility of the sacrifice comes in the measure of love flowing within that sacrifice, that offering. Now a question remains. What do we have to offer? A handful of some perfections and virtuous history of our past, where he labored and we were victorious, where we succeeded, we overcame so much of difficulties, and we became a virtuous people. And what then of our failings and struggles? Are we ashamed of them or afraid that they may not be accepted? We must remember Jesus was crawling in the dust in his weakness on his way to Calvary. He was living his death on the path of the cross, and that was really acceptable to God. Once this sacrifice is accepted, it becomes an instrument of life, instrument of blessings and grace. Are we really happy to be proud of an image of God who is weak, God who falls, God who is humiliated, spat upon, God who fails, God who cries, dies. This image, though we may keep in our devotion, it is a challenge to live. First, we must focus our reflection on our image of God. We may keep an image of God, one who is all-knowing, almighty, and eternal God, King of kings and Lord of lords. We are really happy about it. And all our attempt is to be perfect like this heavenly God. If we really believed God is love, and if we knew love makes us vulnerable, we also know that God is perfectly vulnerable and weak. He loves us, so He dies. Though not perfect, can we be loving as our Savior? If we are to live the love of Calvary, we needed to prepare also to die for the everlasting kindness. Because love is a very radical choice which cuts us through and through.